All right, I'm ready. Hi, everybody.
All right, distinguished guests,
Oh, there's somebody
respected
by the name of Arthur.
speakers, dedicated educators, and lifelong learners from across the world, I warmly welcome you all to this impactful session. Today, we meet to reaffirm a powerful truth. Learning does not end with graduation, certificate, or age. It is a lifelong journey that shapes our relevance, our resilience, and our responsibility to society. Under the theme Fostering Lifelong Learning Habits in Students and Educators, we will explore how curiosity is nurtured, how growth is sustained, and how education becomes a living force that continues long after the classroom lights goes off. As educators, we do more than teach subjects, we shape mindsets. As learners, we do more than acquire information, we transform through experience. Today's conversation will challenge our assumptions, stretch our thinking, and inspire us to return to our classrooms, communities, and institutions with renewed purpose. May this session not only inform us, but transform us. Once again, welcome to a gathering of minds, hearts, and visionaries committed to learning for life. Thank you very much for joining us today. And to start today's session, I'm going to be welcoming our first speaker for today, Dr. David Greenfield, who is going to be speaking on building a growth mindset culture, the foundation of lifelong learning. Uh, Dr. David, the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes for your presentation.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome. As always, I'm happy to be here with such a really delightful community of learners. Um, when I was in high school, I had a teacher in my senior year um, for a class called the Humanities. There were 60 students. We were basically hand selected by this teacher and his. Well, there were two teachers, his co-teaching, and we had some of the brightest students in the school and some of the, let's say, less than brightest. But everybody came together, and in that year, we studied 2 hours a day, every day, about everything. We started out reading psychology, then we went into philosophy, then we did some more psychology, then we started looking at comparative religion. We looked at the arts. Um, we looked at music or listened to music from all over the place. It was one of the most inspiring and wonderful classes. And anybody that took that class will always say, when asked who's their favorite teacher, Clark Barrett. Without hands down, he was an amazing teacher. And one of the things that he did, and let me take a sidestep, in the appreciation and and passion for life, have it naturally, that natural curiosity. Others are inspired by a person, others are inspired by a subject. This teacher was able to address all of that in this one classroom with the subjects we studied because of his passion and interest in not only the subject and not only teaching, but also in helping students. I remember one of my good friends from go into a troubled area. He was starting to get hang around with the rough kids. And one day he came out of the class and the teacher grabbed him by the shoulders and pushed him against the wall. And he said, "What are you doing? This is going to lead you nowhere." And the class he came out of was photography. And he said, I want you to work for me as a teacher's assistant in photography. That was the switch that flicked on. And my friend finished high school, went on to a really good school of photography in Santa Barbara, became a professional photographer. He made his money taking pictures of jewelry and stuff for catalogs, but his love was ocean photography. And since then, he's traveled all over the world in every ocean, diving and taking just these amazing underwater pictures. Um, we have people that became musicians. We have people that became lawyers. And the thing that we were inspired, everybody, was to find our passion and go after it. So and even within that passion, you start looking at other things. I'm a curious guy. It just is in my DNA. So earlier I was talking about African dance. I studied West African dance for 6 years. I studied with, first I had an art teacher in a class in African art, a man, an Englishman who had lived in Nigeria during the time of Fela. He hung out at Fela's club before Fela got hounded by the government, and he had to leave the country. But he knew African art and introduced us to ideas and concepts that made the art, that defined the art. Um, then, when I had the opportunity to study African dance, I studied with wonderful teachers. I studied with the national dance troupe of Senegal. Don't ask how I got into it, but it was a couple of classes with them, and I'll never forget the respect and love that we were welcomed into the class. I studied with people from South Africa. I studied with people from the Congo, from Nigeria, from all over for 6 years. I wanted to learn. I had something, a curiosity that brought me into it. So I learned theory, but then I went into the practice. There was an Indian restaurant in Santa Cruz, the Batish House, where they had a restaurant, but they also had a stage. The Batish brothers prepared all the food. They were waiters, but they also, every night they'd do a concert of Indian music. I had already discovered Indian music years ago by walking into a music store and hearing some playing in the background. I never got it. This is me. Can I get a couple more minutes just to tie it off, Gloria?
Okay,
3 more minutes.
okay.
The, what you have to do, what you teachers have to do to the students is show them how wonderful this planet is and do it with passion and love and respect and show them that no matter what they do and reach out to the students, everybody's going to have a different interest. Some are going to go into engineering, some are going to become musicians, some are become lawyers, some might even become cooks, whatever it is, that whatever they're doing is good and they should do it with love and with interest and with a passion where they're going to continue learning. How many great chefs have gone into the world? They learn one kind of food, but then they start discovering, well, look at these people are making this kind of food, and these people are making that kind of food. There's um, Russian food, there's Polish food, there's African, different kinds of Indian. I mean, we've got this great big planet, and the way to, I think, get students to get started in lifelong learning is in the school is to approach them with love, to approach them with respect, and approach them with encouragement, and to bring in these different subjects in the class to find a way to incorporate it. If you're talking about whatever you're talking about, you can find something a practical thing from your country and from other countries and show them what is out there in the world. And you never know what's going to happen. If they become an engineer, they're going to be designing things, bridges, houses, fans, whatever. But they're going to be introduced to the idea that they can do it. And they're going to do it because of your love of learning and kind of like by I won't say osmosis because it isn't a static kind of learning. It's very dynamic, but find it and express it and encourage it. And you never know what your students, they might just stay in a little village doing whatever they want to do, but they'll be happy and they will still be learning. And they'll say, oh yeah, I remember learning about this food from a teacher in England, and this is what they did. Well, I'll try it here. So when you start doing that, people are getting introduced to different cultures and how wonderful they are. And so you can't hate somebody that you get to know. And that's something I talk about all the time. And that, thank you, Gloria, for that extra time. I hope it's inspired you,
Yeah.
encouraged you, and go out and show your students that. That's why I'm so happy here because I'm like in my element. All these wonderful people and countries and languages that I don't understand. It's fine. It's all good.
Thank you.
Guns are
And
not good. People are good. Okay, I'll shut up now.
thank you very much, Dr. David. Indeed, learning is not limited by age or ability, but by belief. By grounding growth mindset, you have shown us that curiosity is not just a trait, it is a habit that can be intentionally built. Thank you very much for those beautiful examples that you stated. You have challenged every educator here to shape mind for both academic success and lifelong growth. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker for today, Ambassador Kamal Chandra Lohani. Ambassador Kamal, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
So,
very much, ma'am. Thank you. Warm greetings and
Ambassador
namaste, namaskar.
Ambassador Kamal is going to be speaking on global partnership and lifelong learning, building networks that sustain education growth.
Okay.
The floor
Thank
is
you.
yours.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Namaste. Warm greetings. Namaskar. Assalamu alaikum. Sat Sri Akal to everybody. Respected David sir and respected Gloria ma'am, our Nahir sir, Yala ma'am, Nallam sir, Nalini ma'am, Neelam Saxena ma'am, Reema ma'am, Suraya Banu ma'am, and all the esteemed speakers and panelists of this screen. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, Gloria ma'am, and thanks everybody for listening to me, for giving me the attention. It's a great honor for me that I am the part of this great platform, a great family. So thank you very much. As I have to speak on global partnerships and lifelong learning, I think education is a lifelong journey, lifelong process. It cannot be stopped until we are on this earth. Because, every object of this earth teaches us. We learn from each and everything, from everybody, from every human being. And fostering lifelong learning is not just an educational task, educational goal. It is a mindset that empowers both the students and the educators or the teachers to grow beyond the classrooms. When students learn how to go ahead, how to learn new things, they just gain confidence, curiosity, resilience. And when educators or the teachers model lifelong learning, they show that growth had no age, no limit, and no finish line. So together we can create environments where questions are welcomed. Mistakes are seen as learning opportunities, and improvement, empowerment becomes a shared journey. So let us commit to nurturing habits of reflections, explorations, and continuous skill building because the future belongs not to those who know the most, but to those who are always willing to learn something new, something more. And today's world is shaped by connections across borders, cultures, and ideas. Global partnerships are no longer optional. They are really essential for building societies that learn and innovate and adapt. When countries or nations or colleges and institutions and the schools and communities share knowledge, we expand opportunities for lifelong learning. And we learn not only from classrooms, but from everybody, from one another, from each other, from societies, from natives, from foreigners, through collaborations, exchange, a shared commitment to progress. And these partnerships help us tackle global challenges, celebrate diverse perspectives, and ensure that every learner at any age has a chance to grow, has a chance to go ahead, has a chance to learn. So we should strengthen the bridges that unite us and cultivate learning mindsets that last a lifetime. Together, we can create a future where knowledge knows no border and learning never ends. Education thrives when it is supported by a strong, connected networks of schools and colleges, networks of communities, networks of families, and partners who see a commitment to every learner's success. When we collaborate, we exchange ideas, we strengthen resources, we open doors that no institution can open alone. So, in the end, I would like to conclude by building relationships that last long. We can create a foundation for continuous improvement, empowerment, and sustainable growth. And together we can ensure that education is not just a system, it is a living ecosystem, one that evolves, supports, and empowers all who are part of it. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you very much, Ambassador Kamal. You have revealed to us that no educational vision
Thank you.
thrives in isolation. So, through global partnership and collaboration, you challenge us to move from individual efforts to collective impact for sustained educational growth. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate
Thank
your
you. Thank you,
presentation.
ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nayan sir. Thank you, Lord. Thank
All
you.
right, so I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker for today, Ambassador Yala Padmaja, and she's going to be speaking on creative expression as a pathway to lifelong learning and personal growth. The floor is yours, Ambassador Yala.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Good evening, Gloria ma'am, Rania ma'am, David sir, Nahid sir, Binita ma'am, and Kamal sir, and all the participants of this platform, ma'am. Today, my topic is creative expression as a pathway to lifelong learning and personal growth. So, creative expression is a natural part of human life. It helps us share our thoughts and feelings. It includes art, music, writing, dance, and many more forms. It opens the door to lifelong learning. The next meaning of creative expression. So, creative expression means showing ideas in unique ways. It helps us think differently about the world. It encourages imagination and curiosity. It makes learning enjoyable and meaningful. So it builds confidence. When we create something new, we feel proud. It increases our self confidence. It teaches us that our ideas have value. It helps us overcome fear of failure. Next, encourages problem solving. Creative activities make us think in a new way. And they help us find solutions to problems. And they train the brain to be flexible. They help us understand that challenges can be opportunities. Next one is improves communication. A creative expression helps us tell our stories. It improves our speaking and writing skills. It helps us understand others better. It builds strong emotional connections. Next one supports lifelong learning. Creative people keep learning new things. They stay curious throughout life. Creative activities make learning fun at any age. They help us adapt to a changing world. Next one is emotional growth. Creative expression helps us release emotions. It includes stress and reduces stress and anxiety. It helps us understand our feelings better. It supports mental and emotional health. Next, personal identity. Creativity helps us discover who we are, and it shows our interests and strengths. It lets us express our beliefs and values. It helps us grow into confident individuals. And next, social benefits. The creative work brings people together. It builds teamwork and collaboration. It helps us appreciate different cultures. It makes communities happier and stronger. Next, in conclusion, creative expression is important for everyone. It supports lifelong learning and personal growth. It helps us become better thinkers and better people. So, we should encourage creativity in our daily lives. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you, one and all, for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Yala, for this amazing presentation. You have helped us to see creativity as a lifelong language of learning. Through self-expression, you reminded us that confidence grows, identity forms, and engagement deepens when learners are free to create. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to move
Thank you,
on.
ma'am.
You're welcome. I'm going to move on to our next speaker for today, Ambassador Nahid Raza, and he's going to be speaking on empowering learners through self-directed learning and global citizenship. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Gloria, ma'am, for giving me opportunity as well as outstanding topic. This topic is right to say. I'm speaking about myself. This is top. This is such a topic, empowering learners through self-directed learning and global citizenship. So please allow me to give my views on this topic to please this submission to all the outstanding speakers. I'm submitting my opinion. Empowering eager explorers to embrace education's endless energy. That is our essential endeavor today. In this era of ever expanding ecosystems, every enlightened educator must emphasize empowerment emerges when learners lean into self-directed discovery, steering their studies with strength and savvy. It sparks spirit seekers to become self-starters, shaping their own scholarly stories. Self-directed learning summons students to step beyond scripted schooling, seizing the scope to sculpt their skills and sentiments. It is a powerful practice promoting persistence, patience, and personal purpose. Picture passionate pupils pursuing projects, probing problems, peeling layers of puzzlement, propelled by their personal passion rather than prescribed path. Freedom fosters focus. Choice cultivates curiosity. Self-directed scholars sharpen skills that standard schooling struggles to supply. Self-motivation, strategic study, and reflective reason. These learners learn to lead their learning landscapes, link knowledge from diverse domains, and live beyond limits led by lectures and lessons. But learning alone is not the limit. The world whispers wider wisdom. Global citizenship grows from the garden of global gratitude and grounded growth. It guarantees that learners look beyond local lanes, linking lives with lands and legacies far flung. Global citizens guide learning with generosity, grace, and a global glance. Part of empowering learner is planting seeds of social sensitivity and cultural celebration, nurturing networks of neighbors near and nations anew. Awareness awakens attitudes of acceptance and action. When students see self as stewards of shared space, schooling shifts from solo success to collective cause. Education's essence expands when every learner wears the wide worldview, wielding wisdom wielded with warmth and will. Self-directed learning and global citizenship unite uniquely to unleash unstoppable forces of innovation and inclusion. When learners lead themselves with intent and embolden empathy beyond borders, they become architects of adaptable age. Imagine classrooms as catalysts for courageous creators with confidence to question, curiosity to connect, and character to contribute. Visualize voices vibrant in valuing varied views and values. That vision is vibrant vitality. A, a virtuous cycle of learning, liberating lives. To empower is to entrust, to encourage, and to equip, ensuring every eager mind is enabled to explore education on their own energetic terms while embracing the earth as everyone's expansive environment. So let us kindle this kindling of knowledge and kindness. Let us champion choice and challenge, collaboration and compassion. Let us fuel fires of freedom in studying and fellowship across frontiers. Today, together, teaching tomorrow's torchbearers to thrive through self-direction and global dedication. We carve corridors of courage, creativity, and common cause. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
Thank you very much. Wow, just on time. Let me turn it off so that it won't.
Great.
Okay, thank
Right.
you. Thank you very
Cyclone is
much.
gone. Cyclone is gone. Sir, cyclone is gone.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So, Dr. Nahid showed us that the strongest learners are not those who are taught the most, but those who take ownership of their learning. Your emphasis on self-direction and global citizenship redefines education as preparation not only for careers, but for responsible global living. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to move on to the next speaker for today, Dr. Rima John Sotlikova. And she's going to be speaking on global perspective on lifelong learning, lessons across cultures. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear all. Today I'm going to talk about lifelong learning across the cultures. So lifelong learning is not a choice, but it's necessity. So we should accept lifelong learning as a necessity, but not as a choice. And it is about personal and professional growth. So we need personal and professional growth in our teaching, in our life. And that's why we appreciate lifelong learning as an educator. And we have lifelong learning perspective different in different cultures. For example, for Asian cultures, in Asian cultures, lifelong learning, especially in the sphere of education, it's all about discipline and respect for teachers. But sometimes we should think about the balance, because if we have too much respect or too much discipline, it also breaks our lifelong learning. So when we educate our learners, then it's better to make the balance to teach our students to respect, but at the same time to make the balance. I taught English language in my country, in Uzbekistan, and also in Indonesia, and we have different perspectives in lifelong learning in terms of respect. Like in Uzbekistan, yes, the students most of the time they are silent because they want to respect their teachers and they accept whatever teacher says. But sometimes it's very difficult to activate their critical thinking or creativity because they are respecting teachers and not interacting with teacher. And in other countries, when I taught English language, then I can see the difference. They can make the balance. So that's why nowadays nowadays I'm teaching my English language teachers about to make the balance when we teach them how to respect. And also, it's also about connected with well-being and work-life balance. So if we don't have work-life balance, it's also we may fail in lifelong learning because it's also about work-life balance. When we have work and when we work harder, that means we should relax harder and we should make the work and life balance in our life. Otherwise, we may fail and we may get stuck and get stressed, and we cannot learn and we cannot apply lifelong learning in our path. So life in lifelong learning, I can imagine lifelong learning as participating for the webinars or international conferences and learn from others. And we can always get something beneficial for our life. And we can rethink about the perspective, what we know, and then we can apply it for our life. It was so sad recently when one of my students in my class mentioned that she is introvert. She wants peaceful environment to learn, and that's why she prefers individual work rather than group work or pair work. And when I asked what is the reason for that, and she mentioned that because I'm the smartest one in the class, and that's why I don't think that I can interact with others. So I feel confident when I'm learning alone and when I'm having individual work. And then it was very sad to listen that. Why? Because then I said that don't think that you know everything, and don't think that um, don't think that you know everything and you cannot get anything beyond your knowledge from others. But we are here always to learn something from others. Maybe you think that you are the smartest one, but there are some other your friends or peers or teachers that can guide you and help you, and you can learn from them. As a professor, I also don't say know everything, and that's the end of getting the knowledge time. And now I can relax and share my knowledge only. No, it's not correct. So whenever I go for the webinars or conferences, I rethink what I was thinking, say that, oh, this is something that I didn't know before, but now I know that. So that way we learn. This is about lifelong learning, and I think we should share with our learners that if we stop learning, if we don't apply lifelong learning, if we don't share or if we don't get the experience or knowledge from others, that means we may fail. Okay, thank you so much. That was my perspective. Thank you for attention, and um, I appreciate your time and the opportunity given for me to speak.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rima. You opened our eyes to the global nature of lifelong learning. Your cross-cultural insights reminded us that while educational system may differ, the pursuit of knowledge unites us all. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker for today, Ambassador Vanessa Sesi, and she's going to be speaking on youth leadership and lifelong learning, raising change makers for tomorrow. The floor is yours, Ambassador Vanessa.
Thank you so very much. Greetings, everyone. Forgive me, I'm not in the best of health, but I love you all too much. I just have to be here. So I'll be slowing my speaking, but I'll try to keep to time. The pleasure is always mine to be among great minds such as you all. We cannot pour from an empty vessel. For those of us who are in Africa, or even those of us who have buckets or barrels where we store water, in case you don't have a consistent flow of water, you will realize that if you forget to make sure that your barrel has water in it. The day the tap stop flowing, you will be without water. Now, for those who keep water in a reservoir and they have to pump the water into the reservoir, if you forget to switch on the pump to let water go into the reservoir, the day you don't have water, you're going to be without water that day. Lifelong learning is creating a sense of reservoir of knowledge over a period of time in your life as an educator. We cannot say that we have it all or we know it all, because like the word life, life is full of events, Life. So in that moment of events, we learn from the experiences that we go through in that event, and that is what is learning. Experience becomes our best handout, and that is what we give out to our students. That is what we give out to everyone we have to be in relationship with. As an educator, if you refuse to learn, you are unconsciously dying. Not physically as we think of dying, because some will feel as a bad omen, but you become unproductive. You become unprofitable. You become unbecoming. So if you want to become that person that you want your children, your students to become, you have to show them the way. We cannot create the mindset of change in the students we are teaching if we are not change makers ourselves. We need to be intentional about what we learn, because we don't have to learn everything, but we have to learn what is relevant to what we are doing and to whom we are speaking to. Learning is the assimilation of knowledge. Learning is how to even make use of that knowledge. So it's not just about what you know, but how you make known what you know to the person that does not know. Taking the person from what they know, bringing them back from knowing what they have to know. It's about mentoring the youth, creating that sense of helping them understand and love knowledge. Because who you are is what you will provide and produce. So you're taking the child from the known to the unknown and you're bringing them back. And that is true experience. That is true learning. That is true constant learning. And it's not only in the classroom. It's not, yes, readers are leaders, but your experiences in life teach you something. The experiences you go through, the experiences your students go through, teach them something. So, how do you help your youth, the young person, that child, that student, embrace the experiences they have and help them learn good out of those experiences? A lifelong learner is someone that is consistently learning formally and informally. So yes, we have to be intentional in our teaching, like in our learning. We also have to be mentors to ourselves and mentors to our students and our youth. We should never think we know it all. You will all agree with me that the benefit of the digitalized era is the fact that it has taught us that nothing is consistent. So even what you think you know today, in the next 5 months, 5 years, it's become archaic. So even if you are teaching teaching mathematics, science, etc., the mode, your pedagogy in teaching should change. Always create a sense of expectancy in your students so that when you walk into the class, they are there to expect. Curiosity, we hear, kills the cat, but permit me to say that curiosity enlightens the cat. So we should not think that gaining more knowledge will spoil the soup. No, it will make us more enlightened and empowered. The pleasure has always been mine to be with you. Tess, once again.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Vanessa. Indeed, curiosity enlightens the cat. Your presentation showed us that youth are not leaders of tomorrow alone. They are partners in leadership. And where's the noise coming from? Please, can you mute yourselves? Thank you very much. All right, so By linking water reservoir and empowerment to continuous personal growth, you have challenged us to stop preparing young people merely to follow systems and begin equipping them to transform themselves. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker for today, Dr. Binita Prakash, and she's going to be speaking on learning without limits, inclusive strategies for sustained learning success. The floor is yours, Dr. Binita.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, one and all.
Good evening.
Respected educators, colleagues, and champions of learning. Yes, teacher is always a learner. And my topic is learning without limits, inclusive strategies for sustained learning success. Today we gather around a powerful idea. Learning without limits, an idea that tells us one simple truth. Every learner can succeed, not because they fit into a system, but because the system expands to embrace them. In every classroom, we meet children who learn in different rhythms. Some race ahead with curiosity, some move thoughtfully and quietly, some require support, and some surprise us in ways we never expected. When we speak of inclusive learning, we are not simply referring to children with visible or documented needs, but we are talking about every child who has a unique mind, a unique journey, and a unique way of understanding the world. Let us discuss it in some certain points. Inclusion begins with mindset, not method. The most important strategy is shifting from what is wrong with this learner to what can I change in my teaching so that this learner can succeed. This mindset turns barriers into bridges. It transforms classrooms from places of comparison into spaces of growth. The second point is universal design for learning. Teaching for every brain. UDL reminds us to design lessons that are flexible in how. Sorry, ma'am. Flexible in how content is taught, varied in how learning is expressed, engaging in ways that reach emotional and cultural identities. A single concept can be learned through visuals, hands on activities, stories, discussions, and digital simulations. When we offer multiple doors into knowledge, every learner finds an entry point. The third one is differentiation, meeting learners where they are. Inclusive classrooms understands that some students need scaffolding, some need enrichment, some need repetition, some need just one spark of encouragement. Differentiation is not about creating different lessons, it is about creating pathways. It is the teacher's promise to say, no matter where you begin, there is a place for you here. Fourth one is emotional safety, the foundation of learning. A child cannot learn in fear. A child thrives when they feel seen, heard, valued. Simple practices like morning checkings, affirmation circles, peer support groups, and reflective journals build emotional confidence. And when children feel safe, their thinking becomes fearless. Fifth one is technology as an equalizer. Assistive tools, speech to text, audiobooks, visual organizer, adaptive platforms give wings to learners who struggle with traditional methods. Technology does not replace the teacher, it extends the teacher's reach. For many children, these tools are not advantages, they are access. Sixth one is collaboration because inclusion is never a solo journey. Inclusive success grows when teachers collaborate with each other. Parents become partners, schools engage counselors and specialists, students mentor students. When the community stands with the child learns to stand with the confidence. The goal sustained learning success. Sustained learning does not come from one exam, one lesson, or one great teacher. It comes from a system that believes in human potential. A system that celebrates progress, not perfection, that offers flexibility, not rigidity, that values strengths, not just scores, that prepares children not only to pass a grade but to understand themselves as learners. Ultimately, learning without limits is not a technique, it is a culture. To summing up, I can say that let us build classroom where a child never says I can't learn, but proudly declares I learned differently and I learned well. Because when education becomes inclusive, learning becomes limitless and success becomes sustainable. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to express my views upon such a nice topic.
Thank you very much, Dr. Binita Prakash. You powerfully affirmed that lifelong learning must include every learner without exception. Your message reminds us that inclusion is not a program, it is a principle that defines true education. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate your
Thank you so
presentation.
much, ma'am. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
You are welcome.
All right, so I'm going to be moving on to the next speaker for today, Ambassador Miriam Salihu Suleiman, and she's going to be speaking on nurturing curiosity and purpose in young learners for lifelong impact. The floor is yours, Ambassador Miriam.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
When I saw this topic, I was excited because of the kind of learners I have in my classroom. I'm an early years teacher. So, I deal with kids that ask so much questions. They are in that age where they like to ask a lot of things. And I'm always ready to answer because, like I tell my colleagues, they you can't say they ask too much questions because they are in that kids need to be curious for learning to take place. Now, curiosity is the engine of learning. I always say that because when learners are curious, they explore, they question, they experiment, and they retain knowledge far more deeply than when they are simply instructed. Now, let's look at the why chain technique. Why? During a
Excellent.
science lesson, instead of telling pupils what plants need to grow, ask them, why do you think plants grow faster in the rainy season? When a child answers, because they get water, you can follow up with, why does water help them grow? By continuing this why chain, we push learners beyond surface level answers and train them to think more deeply. This transforms passive learners into active thinkers. Connecting learning with purpose. Purpose answers the question, why does this matter? When children understand the relevance of what they are learning, motivation increases and learning becomes meaningful. In mathematics, for instance, let children measure real objects, desks, books, fabrics, then discuss how tailors, carpenters, and doctors use these measurements. In literacy, after reading a story, ask them, what lesson from this story can we use to improve our classroom community? These activities show children that learning is not just for tests, it is for life. Curiosity thrives in environments that allow children to explore and discover. You create a space with interesting objects. Interesting objects could be magnets, seeds, feathers, shells, and so on. Pictures from different cultures and environments. Simple science tools like hand lenses. Tell pupils that each week, one mystery item will be placed here. Your job is to investigate and guess its purpose. This builds inquiry, excitement, and a love for discovery. You also use questions to grow young thinkers because the power of questioning is central to nurturing curiosity. Instead of asking children, what is the answer? Ask them, how did you know that? What else could be true? Can you think of another way? These prompts expose learners to multiple perspectives and stimulate creativity. Building self efficacy. Self efficacy is a concept that was championed by a psychologist, Albert Bandura, and it is the belief that I can succeed if I try. A child who believes in their ability learns better, persists longer, and becomes more resilient. Begin each lesson with short affirmations. I can learn something new today. I can try even when it is difficult. This builds confidence and strengthens their internal motivation to learn. Children feel purposeful when they are entrusted with meaningful roles. I'll give an example. I have a special child, I have a special kid in my class, and I noticed that each time I give her leadership roles in the classroom, she takes them up with so much enthusiasm. And there was a day the mom came to my class and she was like, "What are you doing?" That even at home, that she's always ready to take up leadership roles now. And I told her that I want her to know where she's also excelling, where she can excel. So now, assign manageable responsibilities to kids. When they feel responsible for something, they become more engaged and purposeful. Real world problems make learning practical and impactful. Let pupils design classroom cleanliness plans. Allow them to grow a small plant and track its growth weekly. All these projects show that learning empowers them to influence their environment. And teachers are always models of curiosity. Children learn curiosity by observing it. Use phrases like, "I'm not sure, let's find out together." "This is interesting, what do you think is happening there?" So, to nurture lifelong learners, we must do more than deliver lessons. We must ignite curiosity, cultivate purpose, and create classroom environments where questioning, exploration, and discovery are celebrated. I'll end it with this beautiful quote by a psychologist, Jean Piaget. He said, the principal goal of education is to create men and women who are capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Miriam, for that amazing presentation. You beautifully showed us that lifelong learning begins in childhood when curiosity is protected and purpose is nurtured. Your message reaffirms that the fact that when we invest early in motivation and meaning, we raise learners who never stop seeking knowledge. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate you and amazing examples that you've just given to us. Thank you. And moving on, I'm going to be calling on our next speaker, Ambassador Nalini Astana, who is going to be speaking on motivation, mentorship, and mastery, igniting the lifelong learner within. The floor is yours, Ambassador Nalini.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Dr. Gloria. My pleasure and greetings to everybody present here, all the learners and the educators, I'll say. So the topic you have said, motivation, mentorship, and mastery. I'll start with a quote where I wrote this couplet on my own. Within every learner lies a quiet spark, a dreamer waiting to be heard, a question waiting to unfold. When motivation stirs the heart and mentorship lights the path, the journey towards mastery begins and the lifelong learner comes to a start. So these are my quoting lines, and I will take motivation as the inner engine which starts with when a learner gives themselves the push to grow, where they think that something it is incentric, a desire to know more and do more, as we all are doing, whether it's the age of mine or Dr. David or Miss Gloria or any youngster. Everybody is here motivated from themselves, and we have to develop this in our children as well. I got this motivation when I was in a primary school, where my teacher used to say, call me Runaway Jack, because I never used to sit in the class. So she used to call me Runaway Jack. And she was the person who kept on motivating, you can do wonders. And yes, today I am doing wonders. Poor thing, she's not there with me to witness that. But I'm pretty sure from her grave or as a star, she is watching me and might be feeling very happy to see me doing all this. Then comes the second word which you gave, mentorship. Mentorship is starts if motivation is the spark, mentorship is the wind that helps grow without blowing it out. A good mentor does not lead the learner to the destination. They make them walk beside them and pointing out the path and the pitfalls. As the lighthouse not pushing the ship to forward, but reminding it where the shore is. So in that way, a student who is very bad, again I'm giving my own example. I was a very timid girl sitting on the last bench and never used to open my mouth, is a good speaker today. It's a motivational speaker today for the community. So this is the change brought by one of my teacher again, whom I used to silently follow, Professor Philip, who used to always present herself in such a manner that I used to copy her. And this I was fortunate enough that till date she is there with me. And all in all my social media pages, she always applauds me with her comments and with her thumbs up. So that is the earning of mine. This is the biggest certificate I have achieved in my life. Then comes the third topic, with that is mastery, the discipline of growth. I don't believe mastery is about perfection. It is all about the progression that is quite visible in oneself, and that can only be developed by a mentor. So it is a quite consistent that consistency that transforms a learner from a hesitant to a confident person. And example is again right in front of you. A hesitant, timid, small little girl has become a confident educator today. Likewise, only we can develop this in our children. I feel any educator or every educator is the best example for the child to learn from. So, let every human carry a flame to kindle the spark of motivation towards the sunrise of mastery, become the gentle wind of mentorship to be ignited into lifelong learning. With these words, I sum up. Thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm really grateful that I am associated with such a platform where my learning is growing every day. I have many mentors sitting with me who are giving me every day the spark to keep my light on. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Nalini, for that amazing presentation. You beautifully demonstrated that when motivation meets mentorship, mastery becomes possible. Your presentation reminds us that the most powerful education happens through meaningful relationship and guided purpose. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate you. And I'm going to move on to our next speaker for today, Ambassador Neelam Saxena, and she's going to be speaking on family, community, and school partnership for lifelong learning development. The floor is yours, Ambassador Neelam.
Good evening to one and all present here. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Respected Gloria ma'am, our Parwana ma'am, after a long time I'm watching to Parwana ma'am, and respected Nahid sir, Kamal Chan, Glory sir, Yala ma'am, respected David sir, all the participants opportunity with such a good topic, family, community, and schools, partnership, lifelong learning development. Yes, it is a very interesting topic. First, I will talk about the family. So, the family is first school for a child, and if the child learns, family, whatever the child learns from the family, it converts into the habit of the child, and this habit remains for a long time. As well as every part of our life, with every relation, every time and for child, or actually we can to us. learn on every path of the life by our relatives, our family, parents, every time.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Please go ahead, Ambassador Nilam. Hello, Ambassador Nilam.
Yes, talk about the family.
Okay, go ahead.
Till the end, learning from our family. Actually, in front of the parents, we are always child. Or on every step, we try to ask to our parents. Either we know what is the output of that thing, what decision we have to take, but it is our habit to ask to the parents. It is my views only. And if I talk about the community, as Naif sir was talking about the patience, global gratitude, linking life, yes, all these things. And with all these things, socialism, relations with others, adjustment, harmony, with all we learn by the community. When we come in the connectivity with all the person, those are in community, those are and what is we from our friends also, as Loni sir person or mentor, एक person real only specific person, only a single we okay, so ideal person, from ideal person we learn our friends also from, also, and we learn from those persons who are the best because lesson of life. So every part we try to learn, and we will and harmony. How to adjust with some whatever we are.
Okay. I think her network is really bad.
Network issue is there.
Yes,
Network issue is there.
turn off your camera. Turn off your camera.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So now continuously we learn from the community, and many things it comes in front of us again and again by in different forms. So differently, continuously we learn from the community, and now I will talk about the partnership of the family, community, and schools. If separately these are the things, family always we have done every day new learn. Every day we listen new things to the from our teachers. So if these are the things combined, it can generate a gentle person. And because unity is strength, community is powerful to develop lifelong learning. My views. Thank you very much, ma'am. Sorry for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Gloria, ma'am,
Ambassador.
I have completed. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
thank
yes.
you.
Thank you very much. You stated that education thrives best when homes, schools, and community work together. Your presentation reaffirmed that lifelong learning is a shared responsibility, not just the work of schools alone. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker for today. Our next speaker is Dr. Brotati Chakraborty, and she's going to be presenting on cultivating reading, research, and reflection as lifelong learning habits. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Gloria, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good evening from India. So, it is an honor to share my thoughts on a theme that lies at the heart of both education and human growth, that is lifelong learning. As I think all of you know about Rabindranath Tagore, Kobi Guru, Bengali poet. So he told once, শিক্ষার মূল কথা স্বাধীনতা. And the meaning of this is the essence of education is freedom. Freedom of what? Freedom of explore, question, uh, reflect, grow throughout our lives. So today I want to briefly highlight mainly three core habits that shape lifelong learners, that is reading, research, and reflection. 3R, that is reading, research, and reflection, and why they matter deeply for both students and educators. So, what reading do? Reading actually, it's not just a habit, it's a cognitive exercise backed by strong research. 2000 in the year 2019, in the Harvard longitudinal study, it found that students who read 20 minutes daily, they develop their creativity, vocabulary, emotional intelligence, and empathy. And in real life, considering APJ Abdul Kalam, despite coming from a humble background and very limited access to resources, he read every book he could find, from science, philosophy, even poetry. And his reading habit shaped him into a visionary scientist and an inspiring teacher. And even as a teacher in my own classroom also, I remember a student who struggled with communication, and I simply advised her, read one page every night. And after 6 months, her confidence transformed because reading silently reshaped her inner world. So reading opens doors because whenever you are just want to knock the door, so reading obviously open the door. And second thing, what I told you, that is research. And research actually is not for only scholars; it's a mindset, a way of looking at the world. A Stanford study, it reveals that students engaged in incredible learning retain concepts 65% better and apply them more creatively. And in everyday life, research happens naturally. I'm giving you one example. A teacher in rural Bengal, Bengal means West Bengal, it is, I think you all know, that is a state in India. So in Bengal, once used low cost material to teach geometry because her school lacked resources. So she observed, experimented, modified, and evaluated, essentially conducting research in her classroom. So her method later became a model project recognized at the district level. And research begins when we ask, why does this happen? And how can I make it better? That's the way. And third one, it was reflection. That is the habit that holds everything together. So reflection is the most underrated habit, I think, and it's the most transformative. So a study from the University of Texas, it shows that people who spend even 5 minutes reflecting at the end of the day improve learning efficiency by nearly 25%. And reflection helps us convert experience into wisdom and information into insight. Rabindranath Tagore, again, I am telling his beautiful quote, that is in Bengali, it is said, যে মানুষ নিজের ভুল থেকে শেখে সাফল্য তার কাছে বেশি দিন দূরে থাকে না. It means the person who learns from their own mistakes never stays far from success. In my own experience, also, I keep a learning notebook after every class or event. I write 2 lines. What went well and what could be improved. So, this simple practice keeps me grounded, aware, and obviously constantly evolving. So, I want to conclude by saying this lifelong learning is not a destination, it's a way of living. As many speakers they told already, and it was really, really, really very fantastic session. Thank you so much, Dr. Gloria, ma'am. And I also want to say if students they cultivate the habit of reading, if teachers embrace the spirit of research, and if both pause the reflection, we don't just teach lessons. We create thinkers, innovators, and human beings who keep growing till their last breath. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You have reaffirmed that reading, research, and reflection are not academic routines alone. They are lifelong companions of every true learner. You challenge us to restore deep thinking in a fast-paced world. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker for today, Professor Dr. Suraya Bano, and she's going to be speaking on academic excellence beyond degrees, lifelong learning in higher education. The floor is yours, Professor Suraya Bano. You're muted.
Good evening. Yes. Very good evening. This is Professor Dr. Surya from India. My topic is academic excellence beyond degrees, lifelong learning in higher education. Academic excellence is shifting from a focus purely on degrees to a commitment to lifelong learning. This approach is essential in a fast changing world driven by rapid technological shifts and evolving workforce demands requiring individuals to continually adopt and thrive. The shift beyond traditional degrees, traditional higher education prepared individual for entry into the workforce with a single qualification. This model is no longer sufficient. Lifelong learning is an ongoing, voluntary, and self motivated pursuit of knowledge for personal and professional development that continues throughout one's life, far beyond formal schooling. Employers now seek individuals with practical experience, critical thinking, and problem solving skills, not just a degree. Academic excellence in this context means developing the adaptability and mindset to learn and continually acquire new skills as industries change. The role of higher education institutions. Higher education institutions are uniquely positioned to foster this new model of excellence. They must evolve beyond their traditional role to become hubs for continuous education by offering flexible learning, providing modular, stackable learning opportunities such as micro credential and certifications that allow learners to build skills over time. Integrating real world relevance, partnering with employers to co design curricula that align with current and emerging job market needs and integrating industry certification, embracing technology, utilizing technology enhanced learning, online platforms, and AI to personalize content delivery and provide flexible scheduling options for non-traditional adult learners, recognizing prior learning, introducing flexible learning pathways and mechanisms to recognize and accredit prior learning and work experiences, allowing for more individualized educational journeys. The benefit of lifelong learning. Embracing lifelong learning offers significant advantages for individuals and society, personal advancement, upgrading existing skills makes individual more competitive and employable in a dynamic job market. Personal growth, it enhances personal development, improves problem solving abilities, and keeps individual engaged and adaptive to change. Economic resilience, a force committed to continuous learning helps nation remain economically sustainable and competitive through innovative and increased productivity. Now I conclude academic excellence in the 21st century lies in the commitment to a lifelong continuum of learning where a degree is a starting point, not a finish line. Academic excellence in higher education must evolve beyond traditional degree completion to embrace lifelong learning as a strategic imperative. In a rapidly changing world, the pursuit of a single degree is no longer sufficient. Continuous learning is essential for individuals to remain relevant, adaptable, and fulfilled throughout their professional and personal lives. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Suraya Banu. You have shown us that academic excellence does not end with degrees. Through your emphasis on critical thinking and research culture, you challenged us to see higher education as a lifelong pursuit of inquiry, relevance, and societal contribution. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And moving on, I'm going to be calling on Dr. Mohamed Osama to take over the floor. He's going to be speaking on professional learning communities, strengthening lifelong learning among educators.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning. While enjoying the rights, we must have to think about other rights, and we must have to make others to enjoy their rights. Happy Human Rights Day. Human rights are positive, human rights are essential, human rights are attainable. We all want the same: safety, dignity, freedom. Thank you. I'm going to start my topic. It is called as PLC, Professional Learning Communities. Professional learning communities is indispensable. As its simplest, a professional learning community or PLC is a group of educators who meet regularly to share expertise, reflect on teaching practices, and focus on improving student outcomes. But that definition doesn't capture the magic that happens inside a PLC. It's not just another meeting or a workshop. A PLC is a mindset, a belief that when teachers learn together, students learn better. PLC education meaning in everyday terms, think of a PLC as a teacher support ecosystem. It's where colleagues come together to ask, what do we want students to learn? How will we know if they've learned it? What will we do if they haven't? What can we do if they already have? By asking these questions collaboratively, and not in isolation, teachers transform from individual practitioners into collective problem solvers. Professional learning communities strengthen lifelong learning by fostering collaborative inquiry, data-driven improvement, and shared best practices among educators, leading to continuous professional growth and better student outcomes. They shift focus from individual teaching to collective learning and problem solving within a supportive, reflective culture. There are some points, key points, how to promote lifelong learning, collaborative inquiry. Educators work together to identify problems of practice, analyze students' data, and design or implement solutions in recurring cycles. Shared knowledge. Teachers share innovative methods, resources, and experience, creating a collective expertise pool that surpasses individual efforts. Continuous reflections. PLCs enhance self-reflection on instructional practices and student progress. encouraging ongoing adaptation and improvement, data-driven decisions. Systematic data analysis helps identify learning gaps and refine teaching strategies for better results. Professional agency. PLCs empower teachers to take ownership of their development and contribute to organized change. Culture of trust. Shared goals and cooperation build a supportive environment for educators to take risks and learn from one another. And there are some key points. PLC is a team of educators who share ideas to enhance their teaching practice and create a learning environment where all students can reach their fullest potential. Most PLCs operate within a school building or across a district. They can be organized by grade level, content area of an entire teaching staff. Not every educator is sold on the idea of yet another meeting, but when done right, PLCs reap huge benefits for both students and teachers. There are some key points. They are PLCs allow educators opportunities to directly improve teaching and learning. PLCs allow teachers an easy way to share best practices and brainstorm innovative ways to improve learning and drive student achievements. So in online learning environments, it's especially important to create professional learning communities to lighten the load. When collaborating with other educators, discuss ways to share work to lighten the load. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Once again, happy Human Rights Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy Human Rights Day. You reminded us that educators grow best in community. Yes. Your insights into professional learning communities show that collaboration is not just support, it's a strategy for continuous excellence. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate you. And I'm going to quickly move on to our next.
Dr. Gloria, can I please get the opportunity to speak? My connectivity is so much unstable, please.
Okay, please.
I've already been. Can I continue, please?
Go ahead, Ma. But we normally follow the way we came into the session, but you can go ahead.
Fine.
For future
I
purpose,
understand, but my network stability is not fine.
All
I
right,
thank
Ma,
you
you
for
have 5
this
minutes.
opportunity. Fine. Peace greetings to all present here and happy Human Rights Day to you all. Today, my topic is cultivating reflective education. Teachers as a lifelong learners. Prior to this, let's look at what is reflection. Reflection is a mega cognitive strategy aiding teachers in critical analysis of their actions and decisions. So reflective teaching involves teachers critically reflecting on their lessons and practices in order to improve student learning outcomes. It involves teachers evaluating what worked well, what could be improved, and whether learning objectives were met. I hope we are together here. Now, reflecting teaching strategies include keeping a reflective diary, conducting peer observations, recording lessons, and gathering students' feedback. These strategies help teachers engage in ongoing professional development and growth. While reflective teaching has advantages like professional growth and boosting students teachers relationship, but it is also having disadvantages such as it's not easy for all the teachers and it's time consuming. Strategies for promoting reflective teaching. To foster reflective teaching, various strategies can be utilized, such as having a reflective diary or journals, reflective video analysis, reflective peer collaborations, student feedbacks, concept maps, teaching portfolios, teaching inventories, brainstorming, although reflective diaries are commonly used. Teaching strategies must be tailored to meet diversified needs. The strategies must be tailored to meet diversified needs of the students, acknowledging the differences in their abilities, dispositions, and social attitudes. With my time up, I would like to end here, but I'm really thankful to Dr. Gloria for this opportunity. Thank you all. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Professor Dr. Shanu Banji, for that amazing presentation. Thank you very much. And I want to quickly move over to our next speaker for today, Ambassador. I can't remember the last where I stopped. I'm sorry about that. I need to figure out where I stopped, because I had to, I normally follow it the way we came into the session. Okay, Ambassador Lagmani Kumari is our next speaker for today. So Ambassador Lagmani Kumari is going to be speaking on transforming challenges into learning opportunities, resilience as a lifelong skill. The floor is yours, Ambassador Lagmani.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected Gloria, ma'am, David sir, Nice sir, Catherine, ma'am, and everyone. Today is my topic: transforming challenge into learning opportunity, resilience as lifelong skill. Good evening, everyone. I am Lagmani Kumari from Samastipur, Bihar. The greatest gallery in living lies not is never falling, but in rising every time we fall. In the journey of lifelong learning, challenges are not roadblocks, they are the very fuel for growth. Our focus today is not on resilience, the invaluable skill of bouncing back. Life is not a straight road, it's full of bends, bumps, and unexpected detours. But what to really define us is not a smooth our path, is but how we respond when we stumble. Every challenge we face career, and hidden lesson. A chance to grow stronger, wise, and more capable. Resilience is a bridge between struggle and success. It's mid-rest that says I may fall, but will rise again. When we very failure as feedback and obstacles and opportunity, we transfer setbacks into stepping stone, whether it is academy hurdle, a person also on career challenge. Resilience help us adapt, learn, and keep moving forward in this ever challenging world. Resilience is not just a skill, it is a lifelong companion. I teaches us the stay hopeful, to keep learning, and to trust that every challenge has something valuable to offer. So let's embrace our difficulties not as roadblock but as teachers, guideline as toward our best self. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ambassador Lagmani, for that presentation. You reframed challenges as powerful classroom. So your message showed us that resilience is not simply enduring hardship. It is learning, adapting, and growing through it. Thank you very much for your presentation. We appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And I'm going to be calling on our next speaker for today, Dr. Sarika Kumari. Dr. Sarika Kumari, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Good evening, respected educators, leaders, and lifelong learners across the world. I have my slogan, मैं इतनी गलतियां करती हूँ मगर हर गलती से कुछ नया सीखती हूँ. I make so many mistakes, but I learn something new from every mistake. Learning. We teachers, we humans, learn every time, every moment we learn something new. This is my propaganda. And moving ahead, uh, in today's discussion, I would like to share an important idea, assessment for growth. Instead of focusing only on marks on or grades, this approach focuses on reflection, improvement, and progress. I appreciate this shift because it encourages students and teachers to see learning as a continuous journey, not a final result. Why feedback matters? When feedback is timely, specific, and encouraging, students don't fear mistakes. They learn from theme assessment becomes a mirror that shows both strengths and areas for improvement. For examples, internationally, countries like Finland and Japan use formative assessment and student self-reflection. Students track their progress and set their own goals. This creates confidence, curiosity, and ownership, key qualities of lifelong learners. My India growing practices in India, the National Education Policy 20 promotes schools are now exploring portfolios, peer reviews, and reflection journals. I appreciate how this approach reduces exams pressure and builds skills like critical thinking and communication. A school in Bangalore introduced a practice called Feedback Fridays. Every week, students and teachers exchange reflective notes. Over time, participation improved and students become more responsible for their learning. And moving ahead, in my state, Bihar, to my growth-based assessment is gradually shaping classrooms in many government schools, including mine. Teachers are using rubrics, oral feedback, and learning outcome tracking. This simple shift is helping students, especially first generation learners, understand how they learn, not just what they learn. And my personal experience as an educator for 12 years, I have seen how feedback can transform you student. One of my students struggle with writing. Instead of marking everything wrong, I highlighted two strengths and suggested one small improvement. Slowly, her confidence grew, and today she writes with pride. Even as a teacher, I use feedback for my own growth after classroom reflection and peer suggestion. I ask myself what went well, what can improve, what will I try next. This habit keeps me learning not because I must, but because I want to. And the conclusion, so moving ahead, I would like to encourage all educators to rethink assessment not a final judgment, but as a meaningful opportunity for growth. When feedback becomes supportive, reflection habit, and learning becomes joyful. Students and teachers together develop a lifelong learning mindset. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and attention. Thank you. This is my views.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarika. You have really
Thank you.
challenged us to see assessment not as judgment, but
Thank you.
as growth. Your focus on feedback culture reminds us that when learners understand their progress, learning becomes continuous and purposeful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all of you.
All right, so I'm going to move on to our next speaker for today, uh, Dr. Hussein Magdum, and he's going to be speaking on from classroom to career, embedding lifelong learning skills for real world success. The floor is yours.
Hello, ma'am. I hope everyone is doing well here.
Uh,
Yes, am I audible?
yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Good day to everyone. Today, we live in a world where industries evolve rapidly, technologies shift overnight, and job roles are constantly being redefined in such a dynamic environment. One thing remains constant, the need for lifelong learning. So, here we will explore how we can effectively embed lifelong learning skills in our classrooms so that students are not only academically strong but fully prepared for real world success. So, why lifelong learning matters? Modern careers are no longer linear. A student entering the workforce today must adapt, unlearn, and relearn. I always focus and emphasize on these two things, unlearn and relearn what the students have already learned. If it is overdated, they must unlearn it and relearn it and continuously upgrade their skills. Employers now look for individuals who are curious and reflective, able to solve complex problems, comfortable with new tools and technologies, equally strong in communication and collaboration. So, lifelong learning empowers students to remain relevant, confident, competitive, regardless of how the job market evolves. Embedding lifelong learning in the classroom. So it promotes critical thinking and inquiry. Encourage students to ask why and how. Use open ended questions, real world case studies, and problem based learning. When students learn to analyze a question, they naturally develop a mindset of continuous learning. And teach digital literacy and adaptability. We all are here. That is only because we are digitally literate. We understand the power of media, we understand the power of technology and the digital things we are using. Technology is now the language of every profession. Integrating digital tools, research skills, artificial intelligence literacy helps students become flexible learners who can adopt to new systems and innovations. Encourage collaborative learning, group subjects, and peer to peer learning build communication, teamwork, and leadership skills, all essential for workplace success. Collaboration, that is much more important in the present era, that teaches students to learn from others and also share knowledge. We have to build management and reflection. Students must be taught to set goals, manage time, evaluate their own performance, reflection journals, personal learning plans, and feedback cycles help them develop ownership of their learning journey. Connect them learning to real world experiences. Internships, industrial visits, simulations, experiential learning bridge the gap between theory and practice. When students see the real world relevance of what they learn, they become motivated, lifelong learners. So, what is the role of teachers and institutions? Teachers must act not just as instructors but as mentors, facilitators, and role models of the curiosity. Institutions also must create flexible learning pathways, integrating skill based modules, career counseling, and interdisciplinary learning opportunities. Finally, to sum up, preparing students for the future requires more than teaching subjects. It requires nurturing a mindset. That is much more important. We must keep aside what the syllabus says. We must nurture their mindset. We must prepare them for lifelong learning skills. So, when lifelong learning skills are embedded in classroom practices, students grow in adaptive, confident, and more ready professionals. This transformation from classroom to career is the key to real world success. Thank you everyone for listening me so patiently. I am thankful to all of you and especially to Gloria ma'am for arranging such a splendid platform twice a week, and all the learners who continuously participate us and stay with us. Many of the participants, they are always excited to speak, but due to our time management we have to go on. Thank you, Gloria ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You powerfully connected education to life beyond the classroom. And your presentation reminded us that true learning is measured not just by certificates, but by competence, confidence, and growth and continuous growth. You have challenged us to prepare students not just to pass exams, but to navigate life successfully. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And moving on, I'm going to be welcoming our next speaker, Professor Dr. Mohammed Elzek, and he's going to be speaking on technology as a catalyst for lifelong learning in modern education system. The floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to join you. This is Mohammed Azar from Morocco, a high school teacher and a PhD student at the Faculty of Education. Glad to join you, and thanks to all the participants who have presented. Thank you, Dr. Gloria, for moderating this meeting, for the efforts you invest in planning and in moderating these meetings. I'm entitled to talk about technology as a catalyst for lifelong learning in modern education systems as part of the overall theme of fostering lifelong learning habits in students and educators. Thank you for choosing this topic. It's very relevant and up to date. Concerning technology, as we all know, it has revolutionized education in multiple ways, especially with the growth of AI tools, and we are still experiencing and witnessing this change. We have shifted from ICT into the AI, which is a very sophisticated way of employing technology in education. In modern education, marked by flipped classrooms, distance learning we experienced during COVID-19, technology plays a magnificent or a significant a role with a magnificent impact in promoting lifelong learning. Lifelong learning, a construct that is used in interchangeably with the autonomous learning, with the self-directed learning. And it simply means students taking responsibility with support initially and later on taking their own ownership of learning by themselves. To continuously acquire new knowledge, skills, and competencies throughout their lives, as our colleagues have already mentioned. So education is not limited by time. We're not studying for exams. We're studying for life. And learning is something we start from infancy until we die. We keep learning, and part of being human is continuously discovering new things and learning and unlearning, as my colleague has already mentioned. But the question when it comes to employing technology, how can we realize this lifelong learning? I have listed four options. First one, by employing technology, we extend learning beyond the classroom. Nowadays, we have online courses, MOOCs, and open resources. Also, through mobile, for young learners, mobile learning apps. For example, in Morocco, in our EFL classrooms, we encourage students to use Kahoot, to use for assessment and for learning, to use some apps that are locally developed uh, by teachers through their personal initiatives. We share with students these apps that contain summaries of lessons, interactive games, activities, online quizzes that they take to check their progress. And these mobile apps, they tend to reflect the syllabi that they study. And it does help them to prepare for standardized high-stake tests, because we have an English exam that is administered at the level nationally, and these apps do contribute to help students learn by themselves. And this is also kind of promoting self-paced learning through adaptive learning platforms that AI assisted platforms offer. They also receive personalized feedback that is aligned with that identifies their levels, weaknesses, and areas for improvement based on their progress they have demonstrated through performance. And the third thing is to develop 21st century skills through digital literacy. Interacting with online tools does help students learn how to manage, how to use different apps. Last, this also enhances their critical thinking and problem solving, as my colleagues have already mentioned. Thank you so much. This is all from my part, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Elzek. You've demonstrated how technology, when guided with purpose, becomes a powerful driver of lifelong learning. You proved, or you moved us beyond digitalization into true transformation of success, access, engagement, and continuous learning. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving on to our next speaker, Ambassador Ahmed Meto, and he's going to be speaking on learning beyond borders cross-cultural learning for lifelong growth? The floor is yours, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be with you in this meeting. So today's topic is going to be about cross-cultural learning for lifelong learning. So in this uh, our globalized world, learning is not limited to the classroom or even our own culture. It is essential for students and educators to accept and respect different cultures, recognizing that no culture is superior to another. By embracing this mindset, we can grow more open-minded, adaptable, and empathetic. Cross-cultural learning helps us while breaking word tension. So first of all, let's define what do we mean by cross-cultural learning. It is about connecting with other culture through language, tradition, and collaboration. It's not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about understanding different ways of thinking, learning, and seeing the world. It is important. This cross-cultural is for lifelong growth. It has many benefits and educator. First, it builds empathy and global awareness. How
Okay, I can see his network is really unstable. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Uh, am I audible now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Improve, improve communication and adaptability. How to file programs or job.
Hello? Okay, I guess it's his network. I'm going to move on to Dr. Rania. Maybe when his network becomes stable, he can continue. So Dr. Rania, the floor is yours, Dr. Rania.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Um, okay, my topic is about reimagining education. So I will start by imagining how will be the classroom of 2030 or 2035, let's say, in my opinion. Okay, in the next decade, I think that classrooms will become more flexible, more digital, definitely, more personalized, and more globally connected, but still rooted in
Teachers
human
focus
guidance and meaningful
practices with
learning.
input information from activities.
So,
Global
oh, we're talking at the same time?
Yeah.
issues like climate change, human rights, and cross-cultural perspective. The guest speakers and the mentorship invite speakers from other countries or cultural background to share experience and students. Use of technology incorporate
Hello, Ambassador Ahmed. Hello. Okay. It's okay. That's fine. Yeah. You can continue.
Okay,
I
it's
guess
okay.
his network is really bad. His network is very
Okay.
bad.
So I was telling that classroom in the next decade will be more flexible. We can imagine, for example, more reconfigurable learning spaces. For example, desk in rows will be gone, in my opinion. Classrooms will shift towards more dynamic and multi-purpose spaces. If we talk about furniture, more modular furniture, movable walls, more zones for collaboration, for quiet work, for creation, for presentations, maker spaces definitely integrated into everyday classrooms. And of course, why this? Because flexibility is needed given the fact that learning will focus on collaboration, creativity, and problem solving, and the space must support that. Second, AI is there, and artificial intelligence, of course, won't replace teachers, as we say always. It will transform how each student learns. So AI in the future will definitely help us identify learning gaps, help us to with real-time feedback, which is already happening, translate lessons in real time for multilingual classrooms, help teachers track progress, etc. So every learner will receive an individual pathway. And of course, blended and hybrid learning it becomes natural or normal because the classroom will no longer be a physical place only. It will be a hub connected to online ecosystems. So what we could expect that we expect a switching between in-person and virtual learning. For example, we could have also cloud-based portfolios and assignments. Students collaborating with peers in other countries. Virtual attendance options for sick or remote learners. Of course, participation of parents also. So education becomes more location flexible and accessible. What about immersive learning with VR? Augmented reality and virtual reality already have turned classrooms into fully immersive environments. And we know all the benefits about this. They help conduct virtual science experiments, especially for science, very beneficial. In history, for example, you can explore ancient civilizations through VR field trips. And it's used already in universities with great success for medical surgeries, for engineering, agriculture, etc. So learning will become more hands-on experiences. Although I would like to say that I was reading this week that Mark Zuckerberg, who's the founder of Metaverse and Facebook, he said that he will stop investing in Metaverse because it's something that has the momentum that they will expect it. It's something that it's not so successful as AI, so they're going to stop the investment on Metaverse. And also we have the reports of the European Union the reports which actually convey the concerns about the health of students using, for example, the VR goggles, that this causes headaches, that cause visual impairments and all these things. So virtual reality, I think it's not something very, very possible in the future. It's something that will last, in my opinion. Let's see what will happen. I mean, Metaverse was in the beginning, it was launched as a big revolution, but now we see that this doesn't work so much. And I forgot about assessment. Assessment will be continuous and skill-based because standardized tests will be less important and will be replaced by project-based learning, assessments by digital portfolios, by real-time tracking using smart systems. This will be more possible. Will be assessment based on collaborative problem-solving skills and tasks. And so future classrooms will measure what truly matters. What really matters is creativity, communication, critical thinking. Definitely the role of teachers here. Teachers will be mentors, will be designers, facilitators. So they evolve to mentors who nurture emotional intelligence. There will be designers of projects, of simulations of inquiry-based learning. There will be coordinators of both the human AI resources. So human connection becomes even more important. And definitely interdisciplinary global learning, because learning will break traditional subject barriers. Future classrooms will offer more interdisciplinary themes, global health, climate entrepreneurship, more collaboration projects, multilingual, multicultural learning environments, more focus on global citizenship. And this way, students definitely will have the opportunity to become global thinkers and collaborators. And more emphasis on well-being and emotional skills. Schools will integrate mental health, social emotional learning, etc. The lifelong learning that we mentioned before, and already we have seen in adult education, we have the micro-credentials and all these tips for adults. So lifelong learning never stops. And cultivate skills, of course, not knowledge. Classrooms be hubs of exploration and collaboration, and learning is a lifelong journey. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share my thoughts. It's my personal opinion. Of course, what will happen in the future, we don't know. But I was reading recently that Mark Zuckerberg said that he will stop the investment on metaverse, and I was shocked, really. Because before
What?
2 years, 2 years, he will stop the investment on metaverse.
Really?
The founder of Meta, yes, yes, he announced this that it was, before 2 years, it was something very, very successful. It was presented as a big revolution, but now they say that this is not embraced the way as AI was embraced by the public. The same happens with the virtual reality, also augmented reality. So let's see. Let's
Thank
see.
you. Thank you very much. Your presentation made it clear that the future of education is already unfolding before us. And you have challenged us to move beyond using technology as a tool to embracing it as a bridge to continuous adaptable learning. You have also shown us that in this digital age, adaptability is no longer optional. It is something that is very essential to all educators. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be moving over to Ambassador Shaheen Sultana.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
All right, go ahead with your presentation. Ambassador Ahmed, we're going to come back to you after Mr. Shaheen. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Respected dignitaries, today I present before you to speak on a powerful and meaningful topic: women as a lifelong learners, education, empowerment, and impact. Education is not limited to classrooms or to particular age. True learning continues throughout life. When a woman becomes a lifelong learner, she does not just improve her own life, she transforms her family, her community, and even the nation. Education empowers women with confidence and independence. An educated woman can think critically, make wise decisions, and stand up for the rights. She becomes economically independent and socially aware. Education is the strongest tool that breaks the chain of poverty, fear, and inequality. But learning does not stop after school or a college. In today's fast changing world, women are continuously learning new skills, from digital literacy to entrepreneurship, from leadership to innovation. Mothers are learning new teaching methods to guide their children. Working women are learning new technologies to grow in their careers. Even senior women continue learning and sharing their wisdom with society. This is the true meaning of lifelong learning. The impact of educated women is immense. When a woman is educated, the entire family becomes educated. Her children grow with better values, better health, and higher goals. Educated women contribute to the economy, promote peace, support equality, and lead positive social change. History and modern times are full of examples of women
who change the world through learning. As teachers, scientists, leaders, doctors, writers, and social reformers, their success reminds us that when women rise through education, nations rise with them. In conclusion, women as lifelong learners are the backbone of a progressive society. Education empowers them, lifelong learning strengthens them, and their impact shapes the future. Let us all work together to ensure that every girl and every woman gets the opportunity to learn, grow, and lead, not just for today, but for a lifetime. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You've affirmed that when women continue learning, society continue rising. Your presentation reminds us that empowerment is sustained through education, confidence, and opportunity when women are also involved. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to be calling on Ambassador Ahmed to complete his presentation
Yes.
before we move over to Ambassador Luabuni.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I had the problem of internet connection before. So I stopped at why it's important for lifelong learning, this cross cultural. I said, for example, it builds empathy and global awareness. How, as teacher, we can target this? Or school. School can organize collaborative projects where students work with peers from different cultural backgrounds, either locally or virtually. Teacher can integrate multicultural content in lesson to broaden student perspective. Also, it improves communication and adaptability. How can we do so? We can encourage students to participate in international webinars, pen pal programs, or joint problem-solving activity. Also, teacher can model adaptability by sharing strategies learned from global colleagues. Encourage collaborative learning. How to target this? School can set up team projects that require sharing ideas with students from other countries or cultural community. Encourage reflection on different learning styles and approaches. It also expands career and academic opportunities. We can provide access to international competition, virtual internship, and study abroad opportunities. School can guide students to research global programs and foster scholarship. Also, it fosters lifelong curiosity. How we can introduce students to global issues, cultural festivals, or foreign literature and media, encourage independent projects on topics related to other culture to spark or spike ongoing curiosity. Now, what are some strategies that we can adopt or integrate to enhance this cross-cultural? We can use a virtual exchange program in which partner with schools abroad for joint project and discussion. We can integrate cultural clubs or workshops by organizing language clubs, cultural fairs, exhibition, international days, global awareness events. Also, teacher collaboration networks. Teacher can share international best practices which inform classroom activities. Global project-based learning by assigning projects that address international issues such as climate change, human rights, technology, encourage students to research and present with a cross-cultural perspective. Guest speakers and the mentorship. We can invite speakers from other countries or cultural backgrounds to share experiences and insights with students. Also, or we can use technology, which is more accessible by incorporating tools like video conferences, collaborative platforms, online cultural simulation to connect students with peers worldwide. Also, or we can exchange for school materials, share lesson plans, student work, and educational resources with international partners, school to broaden learning. All in all, cross-cultural learning help us go beyond borders, literally and figuratively. By embracing these strategies, school can nurture not only empathy and learning autonomy in students, but also soft skills in general, such as communication, collaboration, adaptability, which are essential in today's digital world. When students learn to respect all culture equally, while developing the skills, they become lifelong learners to thrive in an interconnected, diverse, and fast changing global society. So thank you so much, dear Professor, for giving me this opportunity. And I do apologize for the previous intervention. It was
Thank you.
interrupting, but thank you so much, all of
Thank
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You showed us that learning goes beyond borders and classroom, and through cross-cultural learning, every encounter is an opportunity for lifelong personal and global growth. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation. And I'm going to quickly move over to our last but not the least presenter for today, Ambassador Oluwabumi, who is going to be speaking on emotional intelligence and lifelong learning, building resilient learners and educators. The floor is yours, Mr. Rodney.
Well, thank you very much, CEO Dr. Gloria Ayogo. And also my warm greetings to everyone from all over the world who have shown resilience in staying through to this time for our usual conversations. Now, tonight I have the privilege of once again conversing with us on the topic fostering lifelong learning habits in students and educators. And I shall also be looking at the sub-theme emotional intelligence and lifelong learning, building resilient learners and educators. Now, we see animals. Animals have adaptive features that help them thrive in the midst of expected and abrupt change. Taking a leaf from animals, as Homo sapiens, we must strengthen our capacity for adapting to change. And this adaptive capacity is derived from a continuous, non-stop acquisition of not just information, but refinement that keeps us up to date, adaptable, resilient, and relevant. This process of acquiring information, refinement, relevance is known as learning. Now, when we look at the word learning has two key components: learn and the progressive tense ing. So learning presupposes that the process, that it's an ongoing process. It doesn't stop. It doesn't have an expiry date. So to keep up with the process or the attitude of learning, we need two superpowers. At least two of the superpowers must come to play. And these are emotional intelligence and resilience. Emotional intelligence helps us as educators to anticipate change, to have our intellectual antenna up all the time, to assimilate change, to adjust to change, to respond to change, not react to change. And how do we respond to change and not react to change? We respond to change through awareness, acceptance, curiosity, reflection, self regulation, resilience, and permit me to say collaboration, because we can't face change alone. These elements give us the grit and the steadiness that help us to rise to the occasion of non-stop openness and adjustment to change through learning. Now to the crucial question: how do we foster a culture, an attitude, a habit, a routine of lifelong learning, not just in educators, but also in students? One of the ways we foster this, somebody made mention of professional learning community, is by being an intentional and active member of a network of professional learning communities like a walk through education. This is our craft. Crafts are never static. Crafts are dynamic, which means they are open to change. So, as educators who are aware about the flexibility and dynamism of the profession and the craft we hone, there is need for us to embrace learning all the time. And like I said, learning cannot be done in isolation. We need collaboration, a collaborative community, professional learning community that will enhance, the infusion of one another's skills, information refinement in order to make a collective brilliance for each one of us. Another way we can foster lifelong learning as educators, beyond being members and active members of professional learning communities, is that we should be interested in learning new things. You and I can be members of a walkthrough education. You and I may have contributed one or two things since January till date, but the point is, are we truly interested in learning? Learning is not passive. Learning is not just churning out. Learning is doing. Are we actively implementing the ideas that we are churning out, sharing here in our classrooms? That is truly learning. It's not just about taking in, but the regurgitation of processed information that we have taken in that makes all the difference. So the question is, are we truly interested in learning, or we are just interested in showing? All right. Now, a closed mind is never open to new ideas. Another way we can keep up the habit of learning, even as we approach a new year, 2026. Some of us might say we have accumulated a lot of certificates on the walkthrough education. Oh, no. This is not about the certification. It's about the soft skills that we keep refining and polishing for one another. Did our presentation skill, has it improved? Is it still the same way it used to be? So when we embrace lifelong learning, we reflect on our practices and choose to be better. Another way is for us to embrace mentorship. I'm not just talking about you being mentored by someone, but you should also mentor someone. You should be a mentor, because although if you don't mentor, how do you test your capacity? Now, these are some of the ways as educators we can foster lifelong learning, not just for our personal selves, but for our community. What about our learners? How do we ensure that they embrace a lifestyle of lifelong learning? We should model, not just talk about it. We should model curiosity, collaboration, networking, and active learning. Our students should see, we should be the exemplars of lifelong learning. Through a change in our styles, our varied pedagogical skills, our ability to be dynamic in the classroom. Then we should incorporate experimentation, research, reflection through project and teamwork. When we introduce project work in our classrooms, there is no way it will not reflect lifelong learning and instill the culture of lifelong learning in our learners. Of course, lifelong learning goes beyond the classroom. For our learners to embrace a culture of lifelong learning, we must create opportunities for them to know what it's about. And that is also by exposing them to other communities outside the classroom. These are some of the ways we can promote an attitude, an attribute of lifelong learning in our learners. And finally, I'd like to say that we should recognize efforts made by our learners when they research, when they come up with new ideas, when they innovate, when they do things that go the extra mile. We should be quick to recognize those efforts. That way, we spur their incentive to learn continuously. When we embrace lifelong learning as educators and learners, we are able to navigate the everyday complexity of the modern world that is tainted with inevitable change, especially for us educators who are the molders of the future leaders. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share my thoughts. And thank you for the opportunity to learn from everyone.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Luabumi, for that amazing one. You helped us understand that emotional intelligence is foundational in education. You also reminded us that resilience, empathy, and mental wellness are pillars of sustainable learning. Thank you very much. And I want to seize this opportunity to thank everyone that joined us today in this session as we draw the curtain on this powerful learning experience. Today stands as more than a conference, it stands as a call. We have journeyed through growth mindsets, digital transformation, youth leadership, inclusion, sustainability, emotional intelligence, creativity, global partnership, mentorship, service learning, and so much more. Each voice today reminded us that lifelong learning is not one idea, it is a way of living. We have been reminded that learning must be inclusive, teaching must be reflective, leadership must be intentional, and education must also be purpose driven. But the true success of today will not be measured by attendance or applause. It will be measured by what we do next, how we return to our classrooms with deeper compassion, how we mentor with greater patience, how we innovate with courage, and how we nurture learners to become thinkers, leaders, and problem solvers for life. To our outstanding speakers that stayed from the beginning of the session to the end, we thank you for your wisdom, your time, your heart, and your patience. To our participants, thank you for your engagement and commitment to growth. And to everyone, every educator and learner listening, remember the most powerful education is the one that never ends. Let us live here not just inspired, but activated. Let us continue to build a world where learning is lifelong, accessible, and transformative for all. Thank you, and may the impact of today echo through our every classroom, our homes, our communities, and the future. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. See you on Friday. Yes, Ambassador Nalini, you want to say something?
Just one thing to add, as we are talking about this becoming a mentor, we should restrict to the time as well. And we should no, I really appreciate Gloria ma'am, those who are still here. We started with 40 and now we are just 17 left off,
Just 17
because
is
we
just
are in different
amazing.
time zones, and we should respect to the time zone, and we should respect to Gloria ma'am's effort. She keeps on telling that please restrict, because we are online, so we should be very much punctual towards that we should join. And one more small little request to all the educators, where we are talking about modeling in front of our students, we should model ourselves that let be disciplined related to the time. That is the only request, because I have attended thousands of webinars and conducted thousands of webinars, and I really appreciate if you will be in time and restrict to the time, because she has given us open platform to keep speaking, but it doesn't mean that we should not put ourselves into the bracket. So it's my request from on her behalf without taking permission from her. Sorry for that.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you. All right. So
Thank you so much.
so if it's possible, let's just take our final pictures before we go. I'm very sorry. I know it's almost midnight for some people, because I can see it's dark here. Can we turn on our cameras? And if it's not possible, thank you, Jihad. Thank you. I appreciate. All right, so let's take our pictures. Okay, after the count of 5. Dr. Rania, where are you? Ambassador Kamal, Ambassador Jihad. Please, can we all?
Sorry, Kamal sir, we wake you up.
Oh, you've already traveled and come back. All right, let's go. After the count of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. Yeah, Fezal, thank you very much for staying back to the end of the session. We appreciate. Thank you, everyone, and see you on Friday. I truly appreciate you all for staying back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Shubhratri.
Good night, ma'am.
Shubhratri.
Good night, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, all of you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
सभी को
Bye.
सब स्टूडेंट